Hello guys and welcome to Astrology Coaching by Anatoly. Today I decided to make one video about retrograde Saturn in 2025. Saturn will go retrograde I think on 13th of July 2025, and it will stay retrograde till the end of November. So this is really very important period for all people because Saturn is the planet of the karma. Saturn is the planet of delay, work, hard work, constructions, diseases. This is the planet that requires effort. This is the planet which always create some karmic events or some troubles in order for you to grow, in order for you to be the one that you have always wanted to be. Saturn is the planet of the authorities. Saturn is the planet of leadership, of the old people, of the unprivileged people, and it is a really important part of the astrological chart, because there you can see what will this is the place where Saturn will always make you work, make the things a little bit more difficult in order for you to learn the most important lessons, in order to become something more than what you are. So Saturn will be retrograde in Pisces according to Vedic Astrology, because this is a Vedic Astrology channel. And it will be this year, it will be a little bit more different. Now I'm going to show you the degrees of Saturn, where it's going to transit, and of course at the end I'm going to share more information for each ascendant and for each moon sign. First, I want to say something about Saturn, this transit of Saturn, because as you probably know, Saturn is together with Neptune. Saturn will become retrograde, and a few days, I think, or a week before this, Neptune will become retrograde. And what is Neptune? Neptune is illusion. Neptune is spirituality. Neptune is a foggy planet that always creates some mystery. Something that is not real. It is the planet of creativity. As you probably know, Neptune is related to cinema, photography. It is a planet, it's a very deep planet, because as far as I know, this is the natural ruler of Pisces according to Western astrology, the tropical astrology. Because in Vedic astrology, we don't use the outer planets. We use them, to be honest, but when they are very close to the personal planets. For example, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, we check them, but this is a more big. These are more big planets that are for the whole generation or for worldly events. Of course, if they are very near to your natal chart, to your natal planets, then they of course have influence on your natal chart. So Neptune is illusion, and Saturn is the truth, the real hard truth that you need to face. So there will be a battle between lies, illusion, and the real truth in the place where Saturn and Neptune are transiting this year. So this means in your Pisces sector. So you have to check where is your Pisces, and there you can see that there will be some karmic events, or there will be some event that is related to illusion and truth, and there can be clashes. There can be a spiritual growth, because the combination, Saturn is very spiritual planet. It is the karmic planet. And I don't know why, but most of the people from the Western world, and of course Indian world, the Eastern world, they're afraid of Saturn. For them, Saturn is the most dreadful planet. But for me, Saturn is a very good planet, because if you work, if you are disciplined, if you put the effort, and if you have your moral values, I mean good moral values, Saturn will always, it will always give you the golden fruits of your effort. I'm more scared, to be honest, from Ketu. Ketu is the south node of the moon. It is not a planet. We call it in Vedic astrology, we call it a shadowy planet, because it is a calculated point, and it is a point that takes part in the eclipses together with the sun and the moon and Rahu. Rahu is the north node of the moon, for all people who are not aware of Vedic astrology. If you are from the Western astrology, I don't know what is this sign now here. Okay, if you don't know anything about Vedic astrology, first you have to know that Vedic astrology and Western astrology, they have different calculation systems. So if you are and the position of the planets will change. So first you have to create your own chart according to the sidereal calculation system, which we use in Vedic astrology, and then you have to check my video. So yeah, now I forgot what I was about to say, but whatever. So now Saturn will be retrograde in Pisces. This is the zodiac sign of spirituality, foreign lands, foreigners. This is very deep sign. It is related with other dimensions, with dreams, illusions, with creativity, with writing, with spirituality, with gurus, with isolation, with subconscious mind. So it is really, Pisces, Scorpio, Virgo. I mean, the 6th, the 8th, and the 12th houses, and the 6th, the 8th, and the 12th zodiac sign, they're more difficult. They require more effort. They require to be more spiritual, or at least to take attention to your spiritual inner world, and they create always issues in order for you to grow spiritually. Just mentioning. So now I'm going to show you when Saturn will become retrograde, so you'll be aware of the dates and the degrees. So now let me open the transit chart. So Saturn will become retrograde. As you can see, Saturn is here together with Neptune. Neptune is already retrograde according to as per 9th of July. And on 13th of July, as you can see here, Saturn will become retrograde at 7 degrees Pisces, which is Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. This means that if you have a planet around the 7 degree of Pisces, or 7 degrees of Virgo, because this is the opposite sign, there can be some effect related to Saturn, and to what Saturn requires and what Saturn signifies in your chart and in astrology. So on 13th of July, Saturn will become retrograde, and it will be retrograde till the end of November, around 27th, I think. Let me see. 28th. So around 28th of November, Saturn will become direct. The degree is 0 degree 56 minutes, as you can see here. 0 degrees and 56 minutes. So if you have planets around the beginning of zodiac sign Pisces and the beginning of zodiac sign Virgo, there can be karmic events, there can be some delays, there can be some things that will happen according to your sector of Pisces and Saturn. So you can pay attention to these dates, and you can pay attention to this period of around 13th of July and 28th of November. Of course, first to say what is when a planet becomes retrograde, this means that the movement is not forward, it is inward. So this is a great time to check to correct things, to see what do you need to do in order things to work, in order to get the good results. Saturn retrograde means that you need to go back, to look inside of you and make a self reassessment, or there has to be something like redoing, reassessing, reworking something. So this is a great time to check what you missed during the direct transition of Saturn. What do you need to correct? Where you need to put more efforts? Where you need to do more things? Where you need to put more discipline in effort in your life in order in the end of the transit of Saturn in Pisces, which will become around 2027, 2028, in order get the real good fruits of your effort. So whenever Saturn is retrograde, it makes you rework the things in this sector, in this house of where it is transiting, in order for you to learn a lesson, in order for you to put the good background for your success. As I told you, if you work hard, if you have the moral values, if you are disciplined and put the effort, Saturn will always give you the golden fruit of your work. Just remember that. Ketu is not like that, for example. It will destroy everything in order for you to grow spiritually. Saturn will give you difficulties, will make you work, will give you more responsibilities, but it will give you, if you work hard, it will always give you success. The other thing that is important, that when Saturn becomes retrograde, usually gives delays, usually gives more struggles, usually gives karmic events. But it is a really good time to look back and see what you have missed, what you didn't do correctly, and now you can do it correctly, but you have to work. This is important. Okay, so now we are going to check for all ascendant and for all zodiac signs where is your Saturn retrograde. Of course, just to mention, if you want to book a consultation with me, you can check my website www.astrology-coaching.com. All the links are below the video. I have a really nice detailed horoscope, yearly horoscope consultation, love and marriage consultations, relocation consultation, marriage. I have career consultation, marriage. So if you have any issues or you need any guidance about this type of, in this field of your life, this is the best time for you to do it, especially when Ketu and Mars will be together in Leo and Saturn will be retrograde in Pisces. This is a really good period that maybe you will need some guidance. And this is a great time for that. If you want to learn astrology, you can check my consultation, my course, Vedic Astrology for Beginners. It is in the website that I already told you. You can check more information. The first two videos are free, so you can check them. And if you want to learn or read about astrology, you can check my books. Vedic Astrology is in Simple and Nakshatras in Vedic Astrology is in Simple. They are in Amazon in category Eastern Astrology. Okay, so now we are going to start with the information about your chart. I just opened one casual chart. And now we are going to see for all ascendant and for all moon sign. As you probably know, in Vedic Astrology, just to mention that too, you have to always check the transit of a planet according to the ascendant and according to the moon sign. Ascendant gives more physical opportunities, that depends on you more, while the moon chart always show apart from that, the fact that it shows your inner world, your emotional psychological world, it gives more karmic events. According to my chart, I have noticed that the moon chart is more how to say, when I see a transit from the moon chart, I know that there will be more karmic events in this sector according to the moon chart. And the physical, the ascendant gives always, especially to me, gives more physical opportunities, yes, and they entirely depends on me. So if I'm lazy and I don't take the advantage of these opportunities, they will not happen. While the moon chart makes it a little bit more karmic. So please always check the ascendant and the moon sign and the transits of the planet according to the ascendant and according to the moon sign. You always have to check your natal chart, your natal planets. You have to check your Ashtaka Varga points. These are the points that each planet gives to a house, to the house which is transiting. But for this, you have to go to a Vedic astrologer, because I don't think you can find the Ashtaka Varga points online. And of course, you have to always check the dashas. These are the dashas. Dashas are very important. They are the background of the events that are happening now in your life. So if you have a good dasha period, the planetary period, this means that No matter you have a bad transits, you will not be so much dramatically influenced by the bad transit. So everything is in the dashas. Remember, according to Vedic astrology, dashas are the most important thing if we speak about events that are happening in your life. Okay, I'm speaking too much. Now I'm going to start with the ascendant and the moon. If you have ascendant or moon in Aries, this means that Saturn will be retrograde in your 12th house, the house of Pisces, and of course, the house of expenses, losses, foreign lands, foreigners, isolation, hospitals, laboratories, everything that is behind the scene, other dimension, dreams. So you have to be careful with your expenses. You have to be careful with your losses. You have to be careful if you have some foreign affairs or you want to travel. This is the best time to rework or reassess what you need to do, where you have to put the effort in order, for example, to go abroad next year or when Saturn goes direct. This is a good time to pay attention to your health, to your subconscious, to your subconscious mind, to pay attention to your inner world and your spiritual world. Be careful with the lies, the illusions in your life. There can be some difficulties with your dreams, dreaming or sleeping. I'm sorry. You can have more vivid dreams, and there can be some difficulty with your sleeping, because 12th house is the house of sleeping, of the dreams, of the illusions. This is a really good time to see, for example, if you have a business related with foreign lands, what you need to change, what you need to rework, redo. So this is the main things that are happening for all people who have, and of course there can be a lot of losses and karmic events in this house. Be careful. For all people who have, because I'm saying that because 6th, 8th, and 12th house, they're more difficult, just for you to know. For all people who have Taurus ascendant or Taurus moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in your 11th house. 11th house is the house of goals, aims, fulfilling your dreams, income, social circle, friend circles, fame. So now this is a really good time to see what you need to change, what you need to work on in order to fulfill your dreams, in order to fulfill your goals, in order to increase your income. When Saturn is transiting in 11th house, it always gives increase of the income. It can be with, depending on your natal chart, it can be with increase of your salary, or you can create a new business and there can be a big profit. Depends entirely on your chart, but this is a good time to reconstruct, rediscipline. To discipline yourself and to put the effort in the right direction. So you need to go inward and to see what I need to change in order to make the things work. And in the end of 2027 and 2028, I can get the fruits of my labor. For all people who have Gemini ascendant or moon in Gemini, Saturn will be retrograde in your career house, 10th house. This is the house of career, reputation, social status, fame again, CEOs, managers, government. So this is a good time to see where you need to improve yourself or improve the way you work in order to fulfill your career goals. This is a good time for example, if you have any project, this is a good time to go back and see what you need to change in this project in order to work. This is there can be some delays, of course, because Saturn is the planet of delay. There can be some illusions and truths. It's a good period for spiritual growth, or a good time to face the real truth in order to not to have illusions that will make you live in a not a real world. It is good to live in the real world in order to succeed in your life. So it is a good time to reassess your work, to reassess your opportunities in order to fulfill your career goals when Saturn goes direct, and especially in the end of 2027, 2028. I'm saying the end of 2027, 2028, because Pisces is a very deep sign and it takes time. But for now, you can check my video in YouTube about Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. For all people who have Cancer ascendant, Saturn or Moon in Cancer, Saturn will be retrograde in your ninth house, the house of spirituality, foreign lands, traveling, foreigners, education, higher education, religion, philosophy, opportunities, luck. So this is a good time if you, for example, if you want to go abroad, this is a good time to reassess what you need to change in order to go abroad. If you want to go study, there can be some delays, but this is a good time to see, okay, I didn't learn enough, so I have to learn more in this field. If I want to become a lawyer, I need to put effort here, here, and here in order to fulfill my educational goals. There can be some issues with the father, especially because not only because Saturn is retrograde in the house of father, but Ketu and Mars will be together in the second house, the house of the family. So you have to be more careful. You have to be careful how you speak with your teachers, with your gurus. It is a good time to search for the spiritual wisdom, because ninth house is the house of wisdom, spirituality. So it is a good time to see, to read interesting books around this field. For all people who have Leo ascendant or Leo moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in the 8th house. 8th house is difficult house, transformation, death and rebirth, chronic diseases. So you have to pay attention to your mental health, to your physical health. Be careful here. You have to be careful if you have if you work with other people's money or with inheritance, because there can be some issues. There can be some things that you need to pay attention and to change, to transform. And Saturn will request this change, but it will happen slowly because Saturn is a slow planet. There can be delays in some projects related to the 8th house, but this is a good time for healing. This is a good time to go to psychologist, or if you work in psychology, this is a good time for you, because Saturn will give you the right decisions and what you need to change and what you need to correct in order to fulfill your dreams and goals in this field, in the 8th house field. But be careful with your health. For all people who have Virgo ascendant or Virgo moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in your 7th house. This is the house of partnership, marriage, business partnerships, other people. So there can be some issues, or there can be some things that you need to change, or you need to correct, or you need to rework, redo in the field of, for example, business relationship or in marriage. Basically, when I see Saturn transiting over the 7th house, it always gives you chains. I mean, it chains you, and chains like gives you more responsibilities. That's why whenever I see Saturn that is retrograde in the 7th house, I think I have always seen that these people have opportunities to get married, to be in a relationship. So definitely Virgo people, you have opportunities to find someone that is some partnership, or even you can get married. But be careful because Neptune is there too, and there can be some illusions, and there can be clashes between lies and the truth, and you have to be very grounded and take this time to see the truth for your relationships with other people, with the loved one, or business partnership. For all people who have Libra ascendant or moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in the 6th house. 6th house is health, food, daily life, routine, serving to other people, problems, conflicts, unprivileged people. So you have to be careful with your health. If whenever Saturn is transiting over 6th house, it always gives health problems. If you have not taken enough care for your health, Saturn will always give some health issues, to give you a signal that you are not doing the correct actions in order to heal yourself. So be careful here. Take attention to your health. Pay attention to your health and take actions. Change the way you live. You have to see what I need to change in my daily life in order to be happier and healthier. There can be some delays in your work projects. So For all people who have Scorpio ascendant or Scorpio moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in your 5th house, the house of creativity, love, children, kings, leaderships, relaxation, cinema, art. So definitely Saturn can give you a lot of love and romance, but it will be not so cheerful like Venus. It will be more with more responsibilities, with more serious relationship, because you see here Saturn is in the 5th house of love and romance and aspecting with its 3rd aspect on the 7th house. So definitely for Scorpio people, you have opportunities for a relationship. But be careful with your children. If you want to get pregnant, you can you have to check what is the real truth that you cannot become pregnant, whether it's health issue or psychological issue, or there is no issue at all, just you think there is an issue. So you have to take attention, take the actions to see the truth and to see where you need to work, where you need to put the actions in your life in order to get pregnant. For example, Saturn will give you opportunities to get pregnant if you have the right chart, of course. Especially Saturn retrograde will give you the knowledge to what you need to correct, whether you have to think more positively or you have to check to go to a doctor. For all people who have Sagittarius ascendant or Sagittarius moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in your 4th house, the house of family, mother, lands, cars, luxury, happiness, inner peace. So definitely Saturn can bring some delays if you want to buy an apartment or you want to sell an apartment. There can be some things that you need to change, rework, reconstruct related to your home or related to your mother relationship. Your mother, you have to pay attention to her health. You have to, it is a good period to think what to go inwards and see what you need to change in order to become happier person, in order to find your happiness, in order to find your inner peace. For all people who have Capricorn ascendant or Capricorn moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house of communication, the house of brothers and sisters, cousins, neighbors, art, any communicational channel. This is the third house is the house of effort, the house of hobbies, the courage. And Saturn feels very happy in the 3rd house. And this is the 3rd house is the house of business. So if you want to have your own business, you always have to check the 3rd house and the 6th house. 3rd house, Saturn feels happy in 3rd house because Saturn is the planet of the work, hard work, and the 3rd house is the house of effort. So this combination is very good to fulfill any kind of dreams and goals you have. So now you have to go backwards and see what I missed. Now I have to find what went wrong in order to fulfill my dreams, in order to fulfill my goals, in order to create my own business. Be careful with the relationship with brothers and sisters and cousins. There can be some issues there. Saturn will be, for all people who have Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius moon sign, Saturn will be retrograde in your 2nd house, the house of savings, resources, values, family, what you are speaking, what you are eating. Be careful with your family. There can be some delays with or some problems or, let's say, responsibilities related to your family. You have to be careful how you spend your money. If you want to invest, now is the moment to see what you need to do in order to invest in the right ways or in the right companies. For example, if you want to invest in some company and to invest some resources, it is not the best time to make fast decisions. Now it's time to create the plan in order when Saturn goes direct or when you think very well, overthink your plan. I mean, when you organize your plan very well, then to go forward with your plans, to go forward with your investing. But this is a good time for planning the way you're going to use your savings. But don't spend a lot of money, just to say, and don't take fast decisions. For all people who have Saturn in Pisces, for all Pisces ascendant and Pisces moon sign, Saturn will become retrograde in your ascendant. For the moon sign Pisces, this means that this is the peak moment of your Sarasati. So this is a karmic period. You know, Sarasati is very karmic period. You will receive what you give. Whatever you sow in the ground, you are going to reap it. I think this is the correct way of saying this. Yeah, what you see, I don't know how to say it, but what you have put in the ground, you will going to reap what the fruits of your labor, of your efforts. So this is a karmic period, and there can be events depending entirely on your chart and the way you lived your life. If you made good decisions, now you're going to receive the fruits of your good decisions, right? So Saturn retrograde in the first house means that you need to reassess your whole life. You need to calm down and see, okay, what I need to do now, what I need to rework, what I need to improve. This is something like a self-reflection of your life, in order to know what you need to, where you need to work hard to fulfill your dreams and to make your goals a truth. And Saturn will always give you, as I said, Saturn will always give you the golden fruits of your labor, of your work. So you have to be careful. Of course, pay attention to your health. Pay attention to the way. Pay attention to your health. Saturn can give you more responsibilities, especially if you have ascendant in Pisces. But basically, this is a time where you need to work hard. When Saturn is transiting first house, it is always a time to work hard, to be disciplined, and to have more moral values, to put the effort. And when it's Saturn retrograde, it will make you reassess what you have done wrongly. And now it's a good time to correct it. Okay? So this was the video about retrograde Saturn. If you want a consultation with me, you can check my website, www.astrology-coaching.com, and see you soon. Bye-bye.